Keep it simple, stupid. Gotta keep things simple. Simplify. Make it easy to understand. It's a pretty great phrase. Keep it simple, stupid. It's a great phrase because it's ubiquitous. We all know what KISS stands for. We all know that that is of value. We all know it's something to be working towards, but it's one of those sayings that sounds great right up until you actually try to apply it. Just do it. Great advice. Great advice. But how do you actually do that? How do you take something and keep it simple? How do you make it simple? How does something remain simple? How do you take something that's really complicated and make it simple? I don't know. Because when somebody tells you to keep it simple, what they're really saying is you should already know what matters about this. You should already know what matters, but most people do not. Most people do not any more than most people do not have any idea what their goals are, what their values are. These are all things that we know that we're supposed to have, so we say them, but I don't think we really have any idea how to actually do it. So instead of simplicity, the desired thing, what do we really get? What do we really get? What are we actually delivering? What are we actually receiving? And the answer is, I think it's just confusion that is dressed up as being busy. It's like busyness dressed up as confusion. It is noise that's disguised as ambition. And I think that it's complexity that is confused and mistaken for sophistication. So keep it simple. Keep it simple. We repeat that like it's some kind of a tactic, when in reality, simplicity is a result. It's not a tactic, it's not a strategy, it is a result. So you don't do simplicity, you earn simplicity. And that is the one part that either nobody really understands, we certainly don't talk about it, or it's the one thing that nobody will really tell you. We've all heard that famous Da Vinci quote. If it's really Da Vinci or not who said it, I guess it doesn't matter at this point. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Every time I hear that, I think, it sounds really nice. But also, it sounds like a pretty expensive thing because when you really think about simplicity for what it is, it costs something. Complicated, complexity, that's cheap. Complexity is pretty easy if you think about it. Anybody can pile more on. I can add another goal to the list, another initiative to pursue. Anybody can say yes to another meeting. I can fill my calendar up with that would be really, really, really easy. Just to add more and add more and add more projects, whatever. And that's we like that because it makes us feel like we're doing things. It makes us feel productive. When reality, busyness is, of course, a tyranny. We're afraid of white space because we don't know what to do with ourselves. We don't know what to do with our hands. So when you see white space on your calendar, you say, oh my gosh, I need to fill this up. I need to be doing things. So you feel productive when you're doing that. You feel ambitious, but all you're doing is you're trying to give yourself cover. And you're giving yourself cover for what? Or against what? Just you and the way that you want to be feeling because you are insecure. Me, insecure when we're not clear on what we should be doing. So the answer is more. And well, if nothing actually ever gets done, well, look how much I had going on. Just really busy. So not only does complexity, it makes you feel like you're being productive, it also gives you some form of plausible deniability. Tell you what doesn't give you that. Simplicity does not give you that. That's because simplicity is earned. Simplicity is not what beginners do. It's what masters arrive at. Simplicity is not what beginners do. It's what masters arrive at. In art, a novice fills the canvas. A master knows what to leave blank. In engineering, amateurs add safeguards and features. experts remove failure points. In my business, that of the delivery of financial advice, a new person into the business begins with what is referred to as starry-eyed enthusiasm. They're so excited to go out and share this new information that they learned. They are ignorance on fire, which is better than genius on ice, as the saying goes. But the next stage that oftentimes a new financial advisor or a newer financial advisor will move into is sophisticated confusion. And that's where you want to be a fancy financial advisor and you want to wow people, your prospects, your clients, anybody who will listen to you with your acumen and your ability to talk about the markets and the economy and whatever it might be. And if you're lucky, eventually you will move to the final stage, which is mature simplicity, which is I do not need to prove to anybody just how fancy I am. I am able to take extremely complicated, complex, sometimes scary and intimidating concepts and make them extremely easy and comfortable to understand. And just life in general, people who don't know what matters say yes to everything, and people who do know, well, they disappoint a lot of people because those are the people in your life that are saying no. No, 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 no. Lots of boundaries. They understand what their preferences are, they know what they're willing to do, and definitely know what they're not willing to do at all. So that does have a tendency to disappoint. They are not into people pleasing, and that even disappoints themselves sometimes. And I tell you this, simplicity is not laziness. Simplicity is judgment. And good, proper judgment requires values. And values require responsibility. And that is why simplicity is a rare thing, because it forces you to decide what actually matters and then live with those consequences. Makes sense. So why do we avoid it? Why do we avoid simplicity? If we're being honest, I think that most of us don't avoid it because we can't do it. We avoid it because it exposes us, or we're fearful or worried that it will expose us. Because if you only choose 3 priorities instead of 20, those 3 better get done. You better be able to execute on those things. Because if you decide what matters most, you can't blame confusion anymore. Simplicity removes excuses, complexity preserves them. And that's an uncomfortable thing. That's where Pareto's idea of the meaningful few comes in. These are the meaningful few activities that are going to give me the results that I want. You're familiar with Pareto, obviously, the 80-20 rule, telling us that 80% of the results come from 20% of the activities. Well, he built upon that, or maybe that was built upon the meaningful few. Regardless, it's another great idea that he had that I absolutely love. The meaningful few are the activities that are going to lead to the results you want. And then the flip side of the coin is the trivial many. Those are all the other universe of decisions and things and initiatives and new shiny stuff that's out there. So this meaningful few, it's not about minimalism. It's not about living with 37 possessions and 1 pair of shoes. It's not like that at all. What it is, it's disciplined distillation. It's saying these few things deserve my time. These few things deserve my attention. These few things deserve my energy. And these few things deserve my money. Those are our most valuable resources, our MVR's time, attention, energy, and money. And the whole game is making sure that I understand this is what matters. This is what must be done in service of what matters, the meaningful few. And it's the allocation of my most valuable resources to those things. And the rest of it, no matter how loud it is, how trendy, how cool, how shiny, how urgent, those do not get my resources. It's not because I can't do more. It's because I'm a really serious person. I'm not saying me, but people that are able to do that, you get the idea. So the meaningful few is not about doing less. It's refusing to waste your MVRs. It's refusing to waste your best. When you think about what sophistication really is, real sophistication it's not about how much you can juggle. It's about how precisely you can aim. A settled mind, quiet, not overly complicated, not overwhelmed, can carry a really heavy life. But a scattered mind, well, that collapses underneath just a very, very, very light life. Certainly a heavy life will smash a scattered mind. If your calendar is full, but your progress is not full at all, in fact, it's thin, well, you're not engaging in an ambitious activity. You are avoiding the things that you really ought to be doing. And if your goals keep changing, it's not a flexible thing. It's not pivoting. You're uncommitted. You are constantly changing what it is that you want and your North Star, your compass, your top priorities. It could be that you're suffering from a lack of commitment. So I'm not sitting here saying that making things simple doesn't mean that life gets easier, but what it does mean is that your effort becomes aligned. So you get that alignment that we're always striving for. And alignment feels effortless only after the hard decisions are made. So I want to throw a question your way. If somebody looked at your life from the outside, they looked at your calendar, your bank accounts, your habits, would they be able to tell what you believe matters? Or would they just see static? Would they just hear noise? Because simplicity leaves a very defined signature. It tells a clear story. What does complexity leave? Well, it sounds impressive, but nothing happens. Nothing moves. No progress is ever really made. It's just busy. And I know that resonates with me because I've been so guilty of that throughout the course of my life at various times. And still probably today. But I get it. It makes sense. It really resonates with me. So the choice, what does choosing simplicity mean? Well, it means saying no without having to over-explain things. It means letting go of good things to protect great things. It means accepting that fewer wins will be visible, but they'll be real. They'll be real. It means doing less. It means fewer plates spinning around, but also fewer plates that are crashing to the ground. I don't think that we need a better system. I don't think that you need a better system. You need fewer inputs going into your system. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer distractions. And you don't need more goals. You need clearer goals that are germane to what it is that you really want. So yes, simplicity is the proof that you know what you're doing, because anybody can add, but only the capable can cut. Only the confident can ignore. Only the disciplined can distill. And only those who are willing to decide what matters earn the right to live simply. Everything else, from my perspective, in Pareto's, is just clutter with good marketing. So, keep it simple, stupid. I'm the stupid one in this equation, not you. I'm telling myself to keep it simple. And you know what? Odds are this is another example, another beautiful example of how we need to be reminded more than we need to be instructed. Less is more. Addition by subtraction. All these kinds of things, but figuring out what truly matters, what must be done in service of what matters, and then allocating our most valuable resources based on those two things that'll probably get us a lot closer to what it is that we want. And that's what I want for you. I want you to get what you want. I want you to be a happy, contented, healthy person, productive, who lives by a standard, who gets things done, who executes, who's winning 100-0, not running around with their hair on fire. So I was so inspired by Pareto and the Meaningful Few that I wrote a book. It's called The Meaningful Few, Designing a Life That Works. And it's really driving at trying to help the reader, potentially you, do exactly what I've just been describing. So you can buy that on Amazon. It's The Meaningful Few. Throw my name in there. And we're standing up some additional resources right now. So depending on when you're listening to this, you can go to mymeaningfulfew.com and take advantage of a lot of the additional resources that we have. There's a course. There's a mastermind and a community that is getting built with all of this. And I'm excited for you to check it out. Would love for you to check it out. Love to get your feedback. The idea here is we all need to do our part, and we do that by doing our best.